Welcome to the Daily Citizen News Update. There are a number of major items we're following, ranging from a Mideast peace deal to COVID lockdowns being ruled unconstitutional. We'll have more on those stories in a moment, but first, a quick recap of other breaking news you'll find today on the Daily Citizen. Breaking late this week, in an interview with Fox News' Tucker Carlson Wednesday night, a Chinese virologist, Dr. Li Minyan, claimed that the coronavirus was, quote, not from nature, and that the Chinese government manufactured COVID-19. Those are, of course, shocking allegations with wide-ranging implications, if true. We'll continue to follow that story and bring you updates as we have them. Next up, in California this past weekend, 2 Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies were shot at point-blank range while sitting in their patrol car. The first deputy, a 31-year-old mother, was shot in the jaw, while the second deputy, a 24-year-old male, was shot in the forehead. The Sheriff's Department released footage after the incident showing both officers, bloodied from their wounds, performing first aid and radioing for help. Police are actively searching for a suspect and are offering a $175,000 reward, leading to an arrest. Thankfully, both deputies are expected to live, and we are praying for their swift and successful recovery. Turning to international news, an historic peace deal has been reached in the Middle East. Zach, you've been covering this story. Tell us some of the details of what happened at the White House this week.
On Tuesday, President Trump welcomed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the 2 foreign ministers of Bahrain and the UAE to the White House to sign the historic Abraham Accord. Now, these accords will allow the 3 countries to exchange ambassadors and make embassies in each other's countries. And so this is a really good step for peace in the Middle East. Prime Minister Netanyahu said to President Trump on Tuesday, "You have the key to the hearts of the people of Israel because of all the great things that you have done for Israel." So this is really a historic week for peace in the Middle East.
While this peace accord is being praised by many around the world, there are some who are not happy with the agreement. What are the details there, Zach?
The goal of the accord is to force Palestine to negotiate with Israel and make a peace agreement. But it looks like they're not quite ready to come to the table because during the signing of the accords, 2 rockets were fired from the Gaza Strip into southern Israel, wounding 13 people. So it looks like Palestine is not quite ready to come to the table, but that might happen in the future.
Thanks, Zach. This week, the White House moved to address a policy issue that has caused controversy on both sides of the political aisle for years. With more on that story, Brittany Raymer.
The Trump administration has recently announced that it's looking to expand the Mexico City policy, which was first enacted by Ronald Reagan. This policy prevents family planning organizations from getting U.S. funds to promote or fund abortion overseas. Expanding this policy will now prevent U.S. federal dollars from going to organizations that are using outside money in order to promote or fund abortions. The United States provides 40% of all global health aid, and this new policy will force organizations to decide what's more important, health care or abortion.
In religious freedom news, a church in California is defying a Superior Court order demanding their doors remain closed. Jeff Johnson has been covering this story. Jeff, can you give us an overview of what's been happening in Los Angeles County?
Thanks, Michael. A Los Angeles County court ruled that Pastor John MacArthur and his church, Grace Community, could not hold indoor meetings because of ongoing coronavirus restrictions. The church met on Sunday anyway, defying the county ban. MacArthur said the ban goes against the will of the Lord of the church. He calls us to gather. Los Angeles County has ordered the church to remain closed and has imposed fines for quarantine violations. The county even revoked a lease for a church parking lot, a lease that had been in place for 45 years.
So at this point, what exactly is the county demanding of Pastor MacArthur and his congregation?
Well, Michael, during the church service, John MacArthur read a long list of demands from Los Angeles County. Here are just a few of them. First of all, no indoor meetings. If the church held outdoor meetings, no hymn books, no communion, no offering containers, no pew Bibles, no singing, no hugging, no shaking hands. And the county demands that they have disposable seat covers changed between services. Grace Community has filed a lawsuit against the state of California and Los Angeles County, alleging violation of their constitutional rights. The suit also says that Governor Gavin Newsom does not have authority to declare a months-long state of emergency, and he does not have the authority to give unelected officials such power over people's lives.
Thanks, Jeff. Finally this week, Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays, but also permanently at the San Antonio airport. Does the popular restaurant chain have the freedom to reopen its doors? With more on that story, Bruce, House Connect.
Thanks, Michael. A food fight with religious overtones has been resolved in San Antonio, which last year decided to evict Chick-fil-A from the city's airport over the sandwich vendors' charitable contributions to Christian organizations such as the Salvation Army and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Chick-fil-A may be America's favorite fast food, but it has also become the left's favorite target in recent years, with liberal politicians and local governments and universities trying to exclude them from areas they control. And all because its owners believe in the biblical definition of marriage. The San Antonio situation came to the attention of the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, who complained to the federal government. The Federal Aviation Administration launched an investigation. Recently, however, the issue was informally resolved, with San Antonio offering Chick-fil-A a new airport lease, which the fast food vendor declined. So, is this a win for religious liberty? The Texas AG says definitely. San Antonio City Council, however, refuses to admit any fault in its actions. You can read more on this story in my article at the Daily Citizen.
Thanks, Bruce. Those are the top stories the team has been covering this week. For more breaking news, be sure to visit thedailycitizen.org, and we'll see you next time.